Twisted Travelers Podcast, your weekly dose of theme park news and entertainment. And now, here to talk all things coasters, theme parks, and even more, here are your hosts, Jack Lathrop and Chris Jones.
Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's episode of the Twisted Travelers Podcast. My name is Jack. I'm sitting here with Chris. How's it going tonight?
It is going good. Ready to get into it. We have a pretty short episode for the first half. Not much went down. And then we've got a little something special in the second half.
We always say it's going to be short, and then we rant about something for 10 minutes, and then we're like, well, it really wasn't that short, so...
So I think the only real big thing we have this week, we kind of already talked about, you know?
Yeah, but we like ranting about that subject, so who knows?
We'll see what happens.
But before we get into all of that, we've got to shout out the wonderful patrons we have. They are Bryant, Graham, Grant, Jaden, Mark, Allison, and Steven, Eric, and Mikhail. Thank you all so much for your support. It means the world to us.
That's right. And if you want to join the Patreon, the link is in the description. You get a bunch of different perks based on your tier, and all the money goes back to the show. We appreciate it, of course. Also, Discord, link in the description. That's where we get all of our questions for the episodes and just have fun talking to you guys. And then we can plug our stuff real quick. Jack, you want to go first?
Sure, you can follow us on Instagram at Twisted_Travelers. Twitter's at Twisted Traveler, but the R at the end is a 1. Twitter, I'm coming for that handle. I will get it eventually. And you can follow me.
I feel like you say that, but you don't actually try.
I try about once every 3 months because that's as often as they'll let me make a request. Really what we need to do is we need to, formally make this thing like an LLC or something. And then they'll take me seriously.
Sure.
So patreon.com/Twisted Travelers if you want to see that happen. And then you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Thrilling Moment.
Yes, and you can follow me on Instagram at Twisted Travelers Chris. So that was a pretty fast opening. Let's get into news then, shall we?
SeaWorld, specifically Busch Gardens Williamsburg. What type of crack are you smoking?
You could have asked that for the past year and a half.
I have. They just haven't given me an answer yet.
They won't. Scott Ross is on something, probably power. But anyways, Pantheon has been pushed back to 2022, but then they just deleted everything. I guess they didn't mean to post that yet, so whatever.
How do you accidentally post that is my question.
From what I understand is some people already signed up for the ERT link as well. Let's see how they do with that also.
Like you have your full-fledged system ready to go, and it's like out there, and then you just delete it.
Sure.
SeaWorld makes no sense to me.
Yeah. But 2022, I don't think that's a big surprise at all. Obviously, last week I did say I think it could be a possibility for 2021 still. But yeah, this was always the realistic option, and that's what they're going with, it looks like. Unless they change their mind before they repost whatever they had.
That was my one thing. It's like, okay, why did you delete it if it was open in 2022? Just like work on the system as it goes. So they could hype up a delay
some more. Because that makes sense.
So my one theory on it today has been, well, maybe it is going to have some 2021 opening, and this just got published on accident while they were working on making the changes to the website to reflect being 2021. Don't know.
Who knows?
It's a probably a wild theory, but I would love to say we called it last week and then again this week.
That'd be great. So yeah, that was basically the big story, and I think we. I don't have anything more to say. Did we not ramble?
Basically, here's what I'm gonna say: Pantheon open, and I'll go back and ride you.
There you go.
Simple as that.
All right. Speaking of new for 2022 rides, Dr. Diabolical Track is on site at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and I love this color scheme. Seeing it actually, real, it looks cool.
Yeah, that thing is going to be pretty. Where it's going in the park, it's going to be pretty. The colors are they would look pretty no matter where you put it, but it's gonna be awesome. And then the supports, we only saw the one support column on the truck bed, but it looked awesome. So, yes, please.
Yep.
Yes,
They're already
please.
ramping up work on it.
I know
I'm
we
pretty excited
literally
for this
went
thing.
in February, but can we go back to ride this thing?
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, eventually, but
Twisted Travelers Take Texas Part 2.
I'm down. But yeah, so they're starting work early, which is, always good. They're not West Coast racing it, or however you would say that
Yet.
yet. Um, Sticking with Fiesta Texas, Poltergeist will be reopening this weekend.
We haven't talked about this much since it closed, but the changes they're making to this ride look amazing.
Yeah.
And they're
I
changing nothing about the actual ride.
Lots of
Except the
theming, the
colors.
colors, like the queue getting enhanced, I guess. I don't really know exactly where everything is or what it's actually going to be. I don't think anybody knows exactly what it's going to be. But we do know that it involves a lot of really cool theming and the repaint. So,
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting back on this. I've only ridden it one time. It was back in 28. Was that 2018? Wow, it's really been that long. Okay, I guess it has. I'm having math problems tonight. And then we went in February and it was closed because of the ice storms because they
mhm,
apparently fried some part to it.
yeah. So yeah, Poltergeist reopening. Good for Fiesta Texas. Bunch of good news for Fiesta Texas all around this week.
And that's literally all that happened.
There we
Like,
go.
unless you want to talk about like the endless Top Thrill Dragster speculation, no.
No,
Or
I
you
don't
want
want
to
to talk
talk
about it.
about a tree that has a tree limb or something hanging over a ride, which I'm pretty sure I did see a post about that somewhere this week, with like just a tree branch overhanging a ride.
That's not
Was
interesting.
news.
I'm good.
So I think we move on to ride of the week.
That's right. So this week, ride of the week, we've got Ghostrider at Knott's Berry Farm, the last CCI. Give us ideas for the wheel because it's got to come back. We need new ideas. But Ghostrider, you want to start?
Okay, Ghostrider. Ghostrider. I still to this day regret not making this my 200th roller coaster. There is a lot that happens on this roller coaster. Starting from where it is in the park, it's Ghost Town. It's the best themed area, in my opinion, outside of a Disney or Universal park. And then you get on this just massive CCI ride that's got GCI trains and GCI track, but CCI speed and like aggressiveness. And you go out the lift hill and you get a cool drop. The drop's not great, but it's at the bottom of the drop. You realize this ride did not just come to play, it's here to do business, because you get just pounded into your seat for a few seconds and then you go flying out of your seat over that massive airtime hill that has no business being as fast as it is, and yet it is. And then you hit that first turnaround and it's just like the best of like airtime and laterals combined. And that's literally that's this entire ride. It's the best airtime you can get. It's the best laterals you can get, crammed into one ride, themed to the Wild West, and thrown in the middle of California. It doesn't get much better than Ghostrider for traditional wooden roller coasters. And it's like this and Shivering Timbers are, for me, this gets the edge in certain categories because it does more. It's not just airtime based, but Shivering Timbers is a little bit longer and does run with PTC, so I give that one a little bit of an edge there. But they're neck and neck for me, and honestly, it depends on the day of the week as to which one I perform more.
Ghostriders far
Or
better.
right now, my recency bias, I rode Shivering Timbers last, so it's probably, yeah. I could just go on and on about how much I love Ghostrider. It's a phenomenal roller coaster at a phenomenal park. Yeah, okay, I'll let you take over.
I mean, so like you said, it's a CCI with smooth GCI track and awesome looking Millennium Flyers. Uh, it wasn't too long ago that I was reviewing this thing after the trip report from Cali, and yeah, it's fantastic. If you remember that episode, I really liked this ride. Um, the whole thing is just crazy laterals and airtime. It's hard for me to understand how this thing keeps as much speed as it does, considering it has a lot of large hills, big elements, that it sustains its speed through the whole way and then finishes strong in the second half with the helix. You get a ton of laterals. The whole second half is ejector. The whole first half is crazy amounts of floater over the big hills. The drop off the mid course is one of the best airtime moments, period. Um, and it is honestly far better than Shivering Timbers, in my opinion. It's like it's an easy 9 out of 10, close to 10 out of 10. Incredibly smooth, tons of laterals, tons of airtime. What more could you want from a wooden coaster? So,
Yeah, the only thing I could want more from it is it being in my backyard, quite frankly. But then, it wouldn't be in Ghost Town. So if I could have all of Ghost Town and Ghostrider in my backyard, please.
you have
I
a
have
backyard? I didn't
I
know
have
you
a
were a
useless
homeowner.
I have a useless parking lot over here that I would love to see replaced with Ghost Town.
Is it yours?
I mean, I pay for one spot in it.
I don't think Ghost Town would fit there.
Miniaturize it. I don't care.
Miniature model of Ghost Town. There you go.
I mean, okay, but can you imagine if they sold that and how quick I would spend my money to get one?
Yeah, you'd probably buy that pretty quick.
I'd be like, who's going to California and wants to buy this and bring it back to me or mail it to me? Yeah. Ghostrider though, phenomenal roller coaster. I need to go back out there and ride it next summer.
I want to ride it again. I will eventually, but yes, it's very good. So CCI wheel complete. Next
Again,
week, who knows what it'll be? Send the ideas.
Yep. Put your ideas in Discord. We got a couple, but we want to hear what you all want to hear.
So, with that said, I think it's time to hop into listener questions before we get to our second half.
Yeah, we got some good questions.
4, 5, 6 questions. One of which I will not be partaking in.
Neither of us will be partaking in, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, good questions, and shout out to y'all for getting them in 30 minutes. Most of these came in the last 30 minutes, so
all right,
props. Okay, starting out from Grant, which coaster manufacturer will be most prominent in terms of innovation and volume sold for the 2020s? And then he gives examples: RMC for the 2010s, Intamin in 2000s, and B&M in the 90s. In my opinion, it's too early to tell.
Yep. But if Intamin keeps it up, it's Intamin. That's my thought.
Yeah, that was my thought as well. If Intamin keeps up this, I'm going to call it the Velocicoaster and Pantheon effect. If we keep seeing those types of rides, Velocicoaster is already one of the most popular rides on the planet. Pantheon, I have no doubt, will become a regional staple of the Virginias, and then is also going to become the talk of the industry once it finally opens. I think once the U.S. sees these rides, I think we're going to see us start popping up, especially in the later half of the decade. And then we've also already seen it in Europe with Ride to Happiness, and with Park Asterix is getting theirs. So,
right, yeah,
right now it looks like Intamin. I think RMC's their glory moment. I don't want to say it's over yet, but I want to say they're it's done for now.
If they're pretty much to be the innovative company, Raptor probably ain't it at this point with all the issues it's had.
Yeah, the Gen 2s have, because supposed to be Generation 1. Okay, it can have problems because it's a prototype first generation. Generation 2 should be working better, and they haven't. So I think they need to revisit the drawing board. But then also when you look at it, they came in, they took the industry by storm, building rides like New Texas Giant, Iron Rattler, Twisted Colossus, Steel Vengeance. And in the process of doing that, they have run out of rides that are big enough, quite frankly,
or chains that trust them.
Or chains that trust them to do anything like Steel Vengeance again. Which, great, we got some cool rides out of it, but where's your business plan long term? And I'm not saying, I'm sure they have one, because Zadra, Iron Gwazi, the Fun Spot RMC, I put Iron Gwazi on that list because, let's be honest, that ride sat and rot for so long. There's not much of it that's original.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. I feel like RMZ might have been banking on the Raptor a little bit for clones, and then it ain't working out so well. So we'll see what happens with that. And then as far as iBox makeovers, Cedar Fair ain't gonna work with them again. It looks like they're just gonna have to do ground up, which we'll see how many parks actually want to do that. Topper is not a thing anymore. T-Rex is way out of the way. I think as far as amount produced, it's going to be pretty even. I
mhm.
mean, it's obviously early to tell, but I think it'll be pretty even between like Intamin will continue building crazy stuff with Universal and Busch Gardens parks probably over the next decade. Mock will probably continue to go with Cedar Fair. Same with B&M, or maybe even with Six Flags for B&M at some point. Who knows? I think GCI will keep doing wooden coasters for companies, and Gravity Group. Those two will continue to dominate wooden coasters. But as far as who will be the most innovative, I think it's going to be Intamin. The thing for like if Intamin could get back in with Cedar Fair or start working with Six Flags, which doubt, but if they could, I'd give them the whole board as of right now.
Yeah, someone make a note of this and remind us in like 3 years if we're still doing this thing to come back and look at it in 3 years,
Mm.
because that would be I have a feeling by 2024ish we're gonna have an idea of who's gonna win the decade. But yeah, 2021, like we've got glimpses into the future, but who knows? I'm just gonna use it because it's funny. B&M could be like 4D coaster, and every park needs one, and that could shift the decade. Even though we all know that like the chances of that happening are about as high as me trying pizza.
Boo. But okay, yeah. Um. Anyways, let's move on. Good
Yeah,
question, Grant. So this is from Eric. When you're not cred running a park, what do you like to do with the parks other than roller coasters? Obviously, Jack would say photography, but that's not allowed.
I was gonna say they shut me down on photography, so it's like, wait, what do I do? But I do have a couple of answers, but I'll let you go first.
I mean, flat rides, trains, if there's classic stuff like shows that are known for, I'll do them. If there's food items that up the park is known for, I'll do them, like Dollywood and Silver Dollar City cinnamon bread. Um, you know, famous rides like Calico Mine Ride at Knott's. If I'm not riding coasters and I was at Knott's, I would do something like that. Or water rides if it's super hot. Um, but I can also just like walk around and be entertained for a while if it's super crowded and just
Hmm.
look.
Yeah, so again, y'all took photography from me, even though you've been to a park with me, you know what I do when I get bored. I go take pictures. Um, so other than that, if a park has a good train, I will ride it. So a good train, it's you can define it. I have my definition of it. We will be riding the train at Silverwood because I need to experience that. Um, but then I love just walking a park. And not even like I don't have to have my camera. I love just walking a park and getting a feel for the place. Um, Taking a stroll around, you get kind of like the idea of like what the park's about and everything. And then yeah, you got to hit the classic flats up. You got to do the big, like if they've got a big flat that no one else has got looking at you, Canada's Wonderland. You got to ride that. If they've got some basically whatever makes that park unique. That's what you got to do. I'm trying to think of a great. Okay, Ghost Town, perfect example. We were just talking about Ghostrider and Ghost Town. That part of the park, if they're doing Ghost Town Alive, I could spend all day doing that and not ride a single roller coaster because it's so much fun.
Yeah, that's a solid example. Yeah, just whatever makes that park unique is usually what you want to go for, at least for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's good for that one. Our next question is from Megan. If you have to remove one roller coaster from your home park and add one from another, which would you choose? And make sure that it like fits at your home park and it doesn't necessarily have to be your favorite.
I got an answer for this one that's gonna make some heads spin. So,
Lightning rod for what?
Helix. Thank you. Next.
See, I could see it coming. He just wants something elite to be in that spot that actually works.
That was so. It was either lightning rod or a mock multi launch, and they went with lightning rod.
Okay, I think I'll go with a fairly realistic one to start off with. Well, not realistic, but what could have been. If you could take Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket out and put in a B&M like Hollywood Dream, please.
I mean,
I'd much rather have that.
It's still like pretty realistic. They'd have to definitely expand the footprint a bit, but there's
they'd have the
size
space. They wanted to work with B&M for that in the first place. They were busy
doing other things. No, okay, yeah, definitely though. I mean, I'm dead serious. My answer would be pull out lightning rod and put in a mock multi launch, very similar to Helix on the hillside.
If I could take out Tigress and put in Time Traveler too, I think it would fit back there because there's some space behind it.
They're gonna get an excavator out and dig a giant hole for it.
Alright, fine. I'll just say Ride to Happiness then.
That works. Can you just imagine though, if some park in Florida, like, let's dig a giant hole and build a roller coaster in it?
I wouldn't complain at all. But yeah, that would probably be my two answers.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't have another answer because, quite frankly, there's not the lightning rod hillside is a pretty big canvas to work with. The rest of the park, the way they've crammed the roller coasters in is actually something quite spectacular. So,
yeah. All right. So,
best
yes.
coaster dad joke. Allison, do we look like dads to you? You know, if I were at home, I would say we both get our dads in here and make them tell their best dad joke.
No.
But I think our listeners would drop entirely.
So I appreciate all ideas that we get, but I honestly hate this one, Allison. I will not be partaking in this.
Yeah, I don't. Even if I had a good dad joke, I don't think I would do it because, quite frankly, I don't want to get slapped or disowned as a friend. But I don't even have a good dad joke. Literally cannot think of anything. So, moving on to a question that Chris also probably will not be answering: Marvel or DC movies?
Okay, I will answer just to make it fast.
Okay.
Marvel, because I've seen more of them. There you go.
Thank you. You're a good person. Yes, definitely Marvel. I'm sorry. DC's movies make no sense because I can't figure out what their universe is. Marvel's are all in one universe. It's nice and perfect and complicated, I know, but still, it's Marvel. Marvel. That's my answer.
Okay. Well, thank you for keeping that short. I honestly was expecting you to go longer.
Don't worry.
I'm
Next
gonna move on now.
Next week's episode, you're getting a movie review.
No, we're not. I didn't agree to that.
Yes.
How would you define good pacing on a coaster? Would it be all about element progression, like Helix at Leesburg, or how seamlessly whatever element a coaster has flow into and out of each other, like Cheetah Hunt, or just how well it keeps its sense of speed? This is from Mikhail. I think it could be any of these three things. Because would you say Copperhead Strike has bad pacing because it goes slower through its elements when it's meant for hang time?
I was thinking about that ride as an example before we started. It depends on the ride. A ride like Intimidator 305, yeah, it's all about going fast, being low to the ground, whippy, intense, and that's got good pacing. And if you tried to take that method and compare it to Copperhead, then Copperhead doesn't have good pacing, but Copperhead's pacing is great because it flows through its elements right. Mm-hmm. So I really think it comes down to the ride and what it's trying to accomplish. So really the big thing I'll say then is it's mid-ride like slow down moments that are unnecessary, that don't, if they don't add suspense to it.
Right, like Diamondback second half.
Yeah, that pretty much trimmed, like hitting a mid-course and it trimming too hard. But like an example of a ride that slows down in the middle that uses that for theming and to tell a story. Maverick, Mummy. You hit that. Mummy too.
I was expecting to say Mummy. I tried to time it, but
Well, we both, at least we got M.
Yeah.
Maverick, Mummy is a good example too. Like we can talk about in a second. You hit the second launch and you slow down and you've got the lights and everything, and then you book it down the tunnel. Mummy, it's a themed roller coaster. Of course, you're gonna want to slow down and have like time to enjoy it.
And then you have a violent drop.
The violent drop and all of that. So that's great. And then another ride, Time Traveler, you hit that second, or it's the first launch that you stop on. And you hit the first launch and it's like, okay, this is weird. And they give you just long enough to like, yeah, you're still spinning. And they give you just long enough to be like, what is gonna happen? Like, and then you're off down the launch track and start spinning again. It's like, oh, this is interesting. So like that doesn't bother me. So I keep going back. It depends on the ride.
Yep, exactly. I mean, I don't even need to say anything. That's what I would say. It depends on the ride.
One more question from Perry, and Perry also asked the Marvel or DC movie question. I think we forgot to mention that. His question was, how does it feel to win a photo contest? It feels great. I'm super appreciative to everyone who voted to get me through to the final 10. And then
I take credit. You're welcome.
Yes, yep, Chris, Bryant, thank you. They both voted as well.
Oh yeah, Bryant's here now, by the way.
Yes, Bryant is here. We'll get to that in just a second.
I'm here.
He showed up for some reason. But yeah, it feels great. I'm extremely proud of that picture, and like all the other pictures were great, so I would not have been mad if I'd lost, but it feels good. Now, with that being said, there is a Coaster 101 photo contest going on, and your boy's going for something that's never been done in the history of the contest. That's all I'm going to say.
I beat Jack in the Coaster 101 photo contest.
He did beat me, and I'm not mad about that, because those were great photos. But I'm going for something this year that has never happened in the Coaster 101 photo contest
Facebook,
before.
Go vote for Jack, is what he's saying.
Jack,
yeah, pretty much. Please. Please. So Brian is here now.
I'm here. Yeah. What's going on, guys?
Not much.
You want to play some trivia?
We love trivia.
Yeah.
I had no idea as well.
Hey, Brian, what are Tuesdays for?
Tuesdays are for trivia.
That is correct.
At Calhoun's on the River in Knoxville, Tennessee.
That is also correct.
Mondays are for Rays Dubs over the Red Sox.
You know what? What's the score?
4-1. It's
they're going to a wild card game, maybe. I don't care. Whatever. They won 108 games in 2008.
Shifted so much from earlier in the year. What happened?
It happens.
It really has been sad to watch the demise of the Red Sox, and it's been great to
watch. The demise of the Red Sox because they're having a bad August.
Meanwhile, the Braves have said August, the hardest month of the year. Let's go crazy.
Braves are going nuts, yeah.
Anyways,
and then the Rays are continuing to do their thing.
Obviously, it's a given. Tampa Bay. All right, go ahead, Bryant. Sorry.
All right, so this has actually kind of been a long time coming. Like 2 months ago, I'm going to re-listen to all the Twisted Travelers episodes so we can have a trivia night.
We don't know
because I was just getting bored with
how he's alive. Like after listening to, I did the numbers earlier. 61 episodes.
You force-fed so much time of us into your brain. Why?
Because I sit in a microscope all day, and I can literally listen to like 5 or 6 episodes of podcasts a day. So this took 2 weeks. Like it's not that big of a deal. So
you're still crazy.
I
love you, but you're crazy.
Oh, I know I'm crazy, but crazy is good. You don't want to be normal, kids. Anyway. So this is from the first 50 episodes only, mostly. So how it's going to work is I have 15 questions for the two of you to answer, and then 5 questions each. 5 questions for Jack about Chris, and 5 questions for Chris about Jack.
I'm going to lose those. He's obsessed with me.
You never know. How I did it is there are... of the 15 questions, there are 3 questions worth 1 point, 3 questions worth 2 points, and so on all the way to 5. They increase in difficulty.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I think I'm going to do it as like I'm going to start with a 1 point, a 2 point, a 3 point, and then we'll go easy, hard, easy, hard, easy, hard.
Okay.
And then we'll do the questions, the individual questions.
All right.
And we'll see where we're at the end.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right. So you want to start with the questions that are for the both of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So hold on. I'm going to try to reposition the screens here. Question 1. We're going to start easy for 1 point. In episode 2, for over 20 minutes, you guys speculated about a new ride that was coming to what park?
Well, I know it.
Let's just say 1, 2, 3, Dorney Park.
There it is. Yes. Classic. And what's going on with that ride?
Shelved, I guess.
We don't know. We should spend another 20 minutes talking about it one day.
No.
That could be the April Fool's episode. You just go on for an hour about...
No, we've already got that idea.
We've got one of those. There's one of those already locked away. It's great.
Love it. So yeah, how you want to do this? Like, you just want to play the honor system? Like, someone goes first, and then whoever goes second doesn't copy?
Yeah, I'm trustworthy. Him,
okay.
We'll see. But
So for 2 points, what was unique about episodes 14 and 17?
Oh, I'm gonna lose.
Can we both have our phones with
no,
Apple or Spotify open?
Nope. No, that's cheating. That's flat out cheating.
Oh gosh.
Okay, I have my answer.
14 and 17.
Episodes, yeah. What was unique about 14 and 17?
Let me think for a second. 14 and 17.
We'll go with no set time limit, but within reason.
14, 17. Okay, I have my answer.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but this is the only thing I can think of. So, you can answer first, Jack.
Both of those episodes were pulled from the archives.
He's gonna get it. That's probably what it was. The only thing I could think of was the only 2 episodes where we have had guests swear.
Okay. Jack is correct. They were, in fact, archived episodes.
I forgot we even did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It took me a minute because at first, my first guess was Marcus because I know he showed up in multiple episodes really quick, and then I was thinking okay, maybe those were recorded in person. But I was like, no, because the next recorded episode wasn't until November or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, wait, archive episodes.
Yes, and they were glorious.
Well, I'm down.
Right.
Down bad.
It's 3-1. You're not down bad. For 3 points, this is going to be a whoever can get closest question. How many different people have spoken on the podcast?
Oh my gosh.
And this is all episodes, not just the first 50.
I don't even know how many episodes we've released.
I literally said it. It's in the show notes.
How many different people have spoken on the podcast? I can read them off too at the end. I got the list.
All of them?
Yep. In order of appearance.
Okay.
See, Jack is getting his notepad out.
Hey, I'm not trying that hard. I don't know what he's using the notepad for. I've just got to guess.
Okay, I have a guess as well.
All right. I'll go.
I'll let you go first.
I'll say 26.
27.
The answer is 25.
Oh, baby!
Chris gets it.
Let's go. And I didn't even use no notepad or nothing.
I was going to guess 26, and I was like, I can't guess the same thing as he did. Dang it. I was like, okay, I'm going to go one over so I can get him prices right.
All right, real quick.
I was like, I'm going to go prices right rules on him.
All right, ready, real quick. Jack, Chris, Mazden, Logan, David,
didn't count us.
Marcus, Justin, Ben, Bob, Mike, Mark, Ryan, Joe, Scott, Sarah, John Mike, Matt, Taylor, Josh, Bryant? I don't know who that is. Daniel, James, Haley, a beautiful girl named Megan, and the other Jack. I think I got everybody.
That sounds like everybody.
Sounds right.
25 guests.
25
Well,
guests,
the 23, I guess.
I
You put us on
counted you
there.
guys because technically you've been on the podcast.
I mean,
This is
some of them just kind of showed up.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go to 3-3. See, here we go. For 4 points. For what roller coaster did Chris bring out his quote "dumb Jack" voice for the first time? These are harder.
I thought you were about to bring up the Jesus on the cross quote.
Might have been the same
I think
episode,
that was-
actually.
Wait, was it?
And by
Wait.
dumb voice, this was like. You know.
Yes, we know. I know which one you're talking about. We would you like to do it for the people, Chris?
No, it has to be in the moment for me to do it
That's
right.
fair. That's fair.
So yeah, obviously the 4 and the 5s are going to be very, very hard, if not impossible.
You said it was on the same episode as the Time Traveler.
It might have been. I'm not quite sure.
Okay. All right, I guess I've got.
I have my
mine.
answer.
There's so many different ones I could go with, but all
I
right,
have
well,
my answer.
I'm gonna say El Toro.
I'm gonna say Lightning Rod.
You're both wrong. Kraken.
Is it Banshee?
Oh, that
Kraken.
makes sense. That makes sense.
That does
Yeah.
make more sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, for
Not
5
bad.
points.
This is gonna be.
What was the very first roller coaster mentioned on the podcast? Just mentioned.
Oh no, hold on. Let me think.
I have my answer.
Yeah, I think I have mine.
Oh, I'm going to get people to go back and listen to these episodes to see if I'm right. Hopefully.
Jack, you
Okay.
can go ahead.
I'm gonna say Fury 325.
I am going to say Lightning Rod.
Both wrong again. It was actually X2.
Really?
Really?
It was X2. I don't know. I mean, I forgot how
So-
it came up in
so
conversation. but-
I was just trying to think, like, in the first episode, we did our introductions, and I was thinking,
Yeah.
if Jack went first, Rod would be brought up first,
Mm.
probably. If I went first, then maybe Kumba or something. But I guess not.
And I went with Fury because it's like we spent a decent amount of that episode talking about Fury.
yeah, but that
It
was
makes
the
sense
end
if
of
it-
that
and
episode.
Yeah, but it would have it still would have made sense if somehow it got brought up really
Yeah.
early on in the episode.
I
Did we
mean,
get-
I think I was as accurate as
I
possible, but
believe
I
you.
could be wrong on some of these.
Okay, but see now you've convinced me to go back and listen to my own podcast.
Download 'em.
So
Download them.
My man's plugging for us.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so after round 1, it's 3-3. See, here we go. We got the competitive juices flowing here. Round 2, back to 1 point. In your episode with Bob, what park features did you talk about that made night rides even better? And I think both of you agreed, because this is a both of you.
Park features?
A park feature did you talk about that made night rides even better?
I have one. I think
With-
is it one singular feature or is it multiples?
Yeah.
It's,
Kind of.
yeah.
Oh, but it could also be that. This is hard. I hate you.
So
Sorry.
1 point.
I'm-
Maybe I shouldn't have made this 1 point.
I guess I have mine.
I'll let you go first.
I'm just going to say, like, foliage and tree coverage.
That's my answer as well.
At night rides? No. No, the answer is fireworks. You were going off about fireworks. You're like, oh,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah.
night ride's so much better.
Because I
I
did
don't
get
know
to
our
ride
show at
Outlaw
all.
during the fireworks.
Yeah, which,
Yeah. Okay.
2 points. We got multiple choice here. Which of the following things did any of you not list on your 5 things I hate about you list?
Oh, this one's gonna be good because I
Was it-
remember making the show art for this.
Was it A, parking fees, B, one train ops, C, no trees, or D, cattle queues?
Which ones did we not bring
Which
up?
one did you not say?
Or
Parking
the
fees?
following, or just one of
Which-
them?
One of them. One of these you did not mention. Is it A, parking fees, B, one train ops, C, no trees, or D, cattle queues?
I got mine.
I got mine.
D.
A, parking fees.
Parking fees.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I would have brought it up because
I think Jack mentioned the cattle queues. I actually re-listened to the episode today to make sure. But yes, you did not mention parking fees.
I thought I would
That
have brought
one, I
it
do
up.
have a bit of an unfair advantage of that one because I made the show art and I had an example of each of the 10, and it was like which of these 5 will fit best in the show art. So I spent more time looking over those than Chris did.
Okay.
But 3 points. This is the most exhaustive question of tonight. I tried to be as accurate as possible. So again, it's whoever can get closest to the number. How many times has Jack said the word Dollywood in the first 50 episodes of the podcast?
You counted.
To the best of my ability. I'm sure I missed some. This is an at least.
You are a
value.
saint for that.
You don't know how bored I get at work, man.
I just have to pick randomly something that might.
How many
sound
times has in the first 50 episodes did Jack say the word Dollywood?
Chris, you pick. I'm
going with 160.
I'm gonna go 161.
Oh, what a jerk! The answer: 258 times. 258 times.
Oh my god.
Fun fact: there has been episodes he didn't mention Dollywood. Shockingly.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
Which
surprising.
goes to show how many times he said it in some episodes.
I mentioned Dollywood a lot.
Sadly.
Okay.
Okay, but you really should go back through and do that with Lightning Rod.
I was going to do both.
Now.
I tried to do both, and I said, nope, I can't.
Yeah. I'm glad you didn't. You would have wasted too much time.
Yep.
That would be over 500, I have a feeling.
Anyway, 4 points. What was the first thing Taylor did when starting your interview with him?
Drank cheerwine or went and got a cheerwine.
Thanks for having me.
You didn't even give Chris time to think.
I know it.
I wouldn't have gotten it. It's good.
But yes, it was crack open a cheerwine. I mean...
I would get one, but I'm staying off soda right now, so...
Oh, that's fair.
Being a good person.
All right. Last point. Last question in this round. At what park did Marcus lose his wallet?
Do we look like TDR to you?
I had to get a Marcus question in here.
First of all.
I mean...
You're not wrong.
For some reason, I'm just going to say Michigan's Adventure.
I want to say Kings Island.
Should I go whatever park is closest? No, I won't do that. Indiana Beach. He lost his wallet at Indiana Beach. True story.
Would not have gotten that.
See, I can now hear him clearly in my head saying, I lost my wallet there.
Love Marcus. Shout out. He's the man. All right, it's 12-3 in favor of Jack. Those two, that 3 and the 4, really. But there's still time. There's still time. All right, last round of the questions for both of you guys.
Okay.
For 1 point. Which special guest was a part of your longest episode?
If we don't get this right.
I asked you this the other day, actually.
But wait, but this is only the first 50 episodes.
It's still in the history of the podcast.
No.
Yes. Don't cheat.
I don't think you're right, but okay.
I think I am right. I can cheat. Oh, that's the drum.
I mean, we did break the record recently, but
no, you
was
didn't.
That's the
no,
thing.
you did not.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
I mean, it's still first 50. It's all good.
Nope.
Was it Matt from Print My Ride?
Marcus.
I asked you this like 2 weeks ago.
Do we look like we have that long of memory spans?
No, the answer is John Mike.
Huh?
Yep. You didn't break the record. The record is 2 hours and 10 minutes. That was the John Mike episode. Go back. You can
Wasn't
check.
Trip Report Part 3?
With us, that was 2 hours and 2 minutes. Trip Report 4 was 2 hours and 4 minutes.
I thought we had broken the record.
2 hours and 10 is the longest.
I didn't realize we went that long.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he went on for a half hour about Son of Beast, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's right. I gotta admit, he's right.
I'm always right.
Did you ever hear us refer to the historian?
Yeah, it's right.
It's a great name. I'll take it. All right, 2 points. What kind of rental car did you guys get in Texas?
Oh, easy.
Yep, this one's easy.
Mustang.
It was a white 55 edition GT Mustang.
I hate you.
It purred.
No, it did it. I don't know.
We caught my dad doing 90 with it.
Nice. Okay, I don't know. This might give some advantage to Jack here, but we're going to ask it anyway.
I'm already losing.
Again, whoever's closest. How many episodes did Jack do the intro for? With the old school music that actually, I didn't hate the old music.
The old music was
how many? Okay.
I know how many. I think I do.
14.
12.
Jack got it right on the head. 12 episodes.
Because Justin was episode 13, I think. No, it was somewhere. I know because I remember. I don't know why I remember that one, but I remember episode 13. Lucky number 13 was when I rolled out the new intro.
That was
remember
kind of unfair
that
to Jack.
vividly.
I mean, unfair to Chris.
It's all good.
We're all having fun. It's all fun.
Yeah.
4 points. What take did Chris make that caused Jack to say, "How do I mute you?" and "I want to fight you"?
All
End
of
quote.
them?
I think this was the first take that was like, "Whoa, what?" And Jack got really offended.
I made the take that was like, wait,
Chris
what?
made the take. Yep.
Huh?
You don't understand. This is hard because he doesn't have many bad takes.
Yeah,
This one
I'm
was
the
pretty hot.
normal one. Oh gosh, I know that I've said stuff probably,
This is all just reminiscing about things that happened.
but it probably wasn't something that I really think about often or talk about often.
How do you mute you?
How do I mute you? And I want to fight you. The heck is in your mouth?
A rubber band.
Look like pasta, which would have been.
Yeah, that's
ironic.
not happening. No, I fidget a lot.
That's
so
fair,
that's
I do too.
random tidbits about me. I pretty much, if you ever hear something like drop, it's me fidgeting while we're recording.
That should be on the bingo board. Dead air. As they say.
Literally, I don't.
We need some Jeopardy music here.
Yeah, I'm not editing this game stressed out. It's not happening.
Oh, you know all that cool game show music?
I have 5 classes tomorrow.
Oh, that's
no,
fair.
it's not happening.
We definitely need a loop of Chris singing the Price is Right song for the wheel.
Shoot.
All right,
Jack, do you have an answer?
might call it time here.
Let me just make something up.
I've got an
Wrap
answer.
the restraints.
I've
Wrap the restraints. Wrap the restraints.
Wildcat Hershey Park.
No. This take was so bad that Marcus came on.
What?
It was that King's Dominion is Chris's 4th favorite park.
Oh, well, it was. It's not anymore. But
that was a hot take.
I remember that. Okay, and now that you
Those
say it, I
two John
remember because I
agrees
was like, don't make me get Marcus in here to yell at you, and he
Yeah.
just shows up.
I mean,
I should have gotten that one now that I think about it.
To be fair.
To be fair.
Yeah.
Actually, I like King's Dominion, so it wasn't that. I mean,
Yeah,
it
it
has
is better than King's
all-time top 2. So, yeah. Anyway, last question of the duel questions for 5 points. What was the very first roller coaster to be picked on the wheel for Ride of the Week?
I literally just went back through and put a list of all of these together so we know what we've done.
Very